Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for tuning in another episode of SRL Sports Rap and Life. Of course, I'm your boy Sports King, and let's get right into it. Week 4 in the NFL. If you missed my previous blog on my predictions, go ahead and select the link so you can see how I ended. For those who already may know, I didn't end very well, so I'm looking to bounce back from week number 3 to have definitely a better week in week number 4. So yeah, let's get right into it with the Thursday night game. For those who don't know, the Rams did definitely win. The Rams, it was a great game to play the Vikings. It was ended up 38-31. I predicted the Rams to win. Great win. They remain undefeated for the season. Really impressive win with those guys. I really feel like the Rams are making noise this year. I definitely think they are looking to win definitely a title. Will they win the title? I don't think so. I really don't. But I definitely know that they're headed in the right direction. Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, those group of guys are definitely making some noise. So definitely look out for the Rams. I mean, they're number one in their division right now at 4-0. Really impressive win. So yeah, I did start off 1-0. So let's get into tomorrow's matchups, man. We have a lot of great matchups in this week. We'll go ahead and kick it off with the Texans and the Colts. People know how I kind of feel about the Texans at this point. I mean, going to 0-3, playing a divisional matchup in the Colts. I definitely got the Colts winning in this matchup. I think the Texans will ended up 0-4. I don't know. I just don't know about the Texans this year. They're calling for the head coach's job. Of course, we know that he gives the same answer every post game. We're gonna look at the film. We're gonna go ahead and go back. We're gonna try to make some adjustments. Right now, it's just becoming redundant. And the fans, if you're a Texas fan living here in Texas, they definitely don't play. You got to win or you got to ship up and ship out. So I definitely got the Colts winning. I definitely think Andrew Luck and those guys are going to definitely come and they're going to come prepared. They always typically have the Texas numbers as well. So I do look at the Texas. I hate to say it, going into 0-4. But I definitely got the Colts winning in that matchup. Next, we have the Bills and the Packers. Interesting matchup. I definitely I'm gonna lean towards the Packers. I know I've always been always saying week after week Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers. But I definitely got faith in the Packers this week. I had faith in them last week, but we're not going to go ahead and it's in the past. We're going to leave it there. But I definitely think the Packers will definitely come. I have a great game plan, and I definitely got them winning. And I definitely think they need this win. I definitely think that, to get back into the sync of things, I definitely think that a W tomorrow will definitely be well needed. So I definitely do got the Packers winning in that matchup. Next, we got the Buccaneers and the Bears. Good matchup. I got the Bucks winning. I definitely think after losing last week, as I was mentioning, I don't know what was going on with Ryan Fitzpatrick and the whole offensive unit, especially prior to that week having thrown for 6 touchdowns to this week. I mean, throwing for more interceptions than touchdowns. You definitely need a bounce back game, and I definitely think tomorrow they'll definitely get a win in that matchup. Look out for Ryan Fitzpatrick to definitely make some adjustments. I definitely think that he looked at the mistakes that he made, and I definitely think that he will bounce back. One thing about Ryan, from what the critics always state, is that he'll look at film, he know what adjustments need to be made, and he will definitely go ahead and make those adjustments. So I got the Buccaneers winning in that matchup. Next, we got the Dolphins and the Patriots. Ooh, that may be the game of the week there. Dolphins and the Pats. We know, divisional matchups, and I people who already know, win, lose, or draw, I'm going with the Dolphins. So I definitely am going with the Dolphins in that matchup, going to 4-0. Let me throw this question out there, and I want to see some comments. If the Pats lose, should it be concerning if the Patriots lose? I mean, the reason why I'm asking, because they lost to the Lions, right? They lost to the Jags. I mean, they're 1-2 right now, going into 1-3. I know it's still early, but would that be a little bit concerning for the Patriots? All Patriots fans, leave a comment. Let's have a great dialogue. But I do got the Dolphins winning in that matchup. Next, we got the 1-2 Lions versus the 1-2 Cowboys. interesting matchup. And that's a matchup I like. I'm going to go with the Cowboys in this matchup. I definitely feel like Ezekiel Elliott will have a big game. He had a decent game last week, running for over 100 yards. But the Lions beating the Jags, I definitely know they got momentum going on, especially beating the Patriots in that fashion. But I'm going to go ahead and go with the Cowboys remaining victorious and getting a win in that matchup. All right. Next, we got the 2-1 Cincinnati Bengals versus the 1-2 Atlanta Falcons. As I was looking at that matchup, I didn't know who I was leaning towards because I'm like, man, Cincinnati 2-1, pretty decent start, but then Atlanta 1-2, losing last week to the Saints in that overtime matchup. I didn't know, but I'm going with the Falcons, and the reason being is because losing in that fashion, the way they lost, I definitely know that they're upset and they're going to take it out on somebody. And why not this week take it out on Cincinnati? So look for Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, and those guys to have a great game. I believe that they will definitely come out, and I believe that they will definitely get that W. And it is a much needed win to me for Atlanta as well. So I got Atlanta in that matchup. Next, we have the 1-2 Jets versus the 2-1 Jags. I'm going with the Jags in this matchup, especially after losing to the Lions and the way that they lost last week. I mean, just a field goal matchup. I think Blake Bortles would definitely come out, and I don't know, man, because sometimes I'm a little leery about Blake. Sometimes he's either hot or cold. If he's hot, he's on. If he's cold, he's cold. I don't know. And the defense have really been saving them a lot. And we know defense win games, but I look for Blake to come out and at least have a good game. I mean, I'm looking for at least 2-3 touchdowns in the air. We know what the defense is going to bring. They're going to hold them to not scoring a lot of points, but we just need to see more for the Jags offensive unit. But I do got the Jags winning in that matchup. Next, we got the 2-1 Eagles versus the 2-1 Titans. Uh, the Titans coming off a good win last week, but I definitely believe that they won't win against the Eagles. I think the Eagles will definitely come and go to 3-1. I'm really liking. I didn't like really what I saw from the Eagles last week, but being the defending Super Bowl champions, one thing that I believe in is that you know how to make adjustments and you know when to make the necessary adjustments. And going into week number 4, now it's time to make some adjustments, and I believe they will make that adjustments to get a win against the Titans. So I got the Eagles winning in that matchup. Next, we got the 1-1 Browns versus the 0-3 Raiders. Whoever thought the Raiders would start off 0-3? What a bad start, especially with a Derek Carr, Amari Cooper. You got Marshawn Lynch. You got a decent offensive unit, and then the defense is not too bad. But then you got the Browns. People who've been following me know I've been saying, don't sleep on the Browns. Expect the Browns. I've been stating this to win about 7 or 8 games. I definitely think they're going to win tomorrow against the Raiders. Those young guys, Baker Mayfield, Antonio Callaway, Duke Johnson. I just feel like those guys, they're young, but they're ready. And I feel like especially being in a slump and a year after year after year, it's like, when do we stop the bleeding? When do we stop this? And I definitely think this year they'll make some noise. So I got the Browns winning in that matchup and the Raiders going into 0-4. Next, we have the 1-2 Seahawks versus the 0-3 Cardinals. The Cardinals, another team. Whoever thought they would just start off 0-3 like this? I mean, wow. That's one thing about football. Any given Sunday, you just never know. Nothing's ever predictable in this fashion. But looking at that matchup, do the Cardinals have enough to finally get their first win against the Seahawks? And I was thinking about that, and I said, no, I just don't believe it. I think Russell Wilson and the crew will come on, and I definitely think they're going to get a win in this matchup. I think it's going to be a close game, maybe by a field goal, maybe 6 points the most, but I got the Seahawks winning in that matchup. And to all my Cardinals fans, if they go 0-4, what are we doing with the Cardinals? Should we be concerned? What's going to happen? Where is the ball drop? What adjustments need to be made? Leave some comments. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Next, we have the Saints and the Giants, 2-1, and the Giants 1-2. The Giants getting their first win last week. against the Texans. Um, in a good win. It was a good win, but I definitely do. I think they're gonna go 2-2. No, I got the Saints win. I think the Saints are on a high momentum, especially after that overtime win against the Falcons. Drew Brees with that nice spin move, looking like he just is 21 years old still. But I definitely got the Saints winning. I definitely believe that they would get a win in a nice fashion. I don't even think it would probably be that much close of a game, to be honest. I could be wrong, but once the Saints' offensive rhythm get to going, they get to going. Only thing I'm concerned with, and people been hearing me talk about this, is their defense. The Giants will put up some points on their defense because their defense is very, very, very below average. So, but I definitely think that the Saints' offense will get them a win. So I got the Saints definitely winning in that matchup. Next, we got the 1-2 49ers versus the 1-2 Chargers. Jimmy G, Phillip Rivers. I got Phillip Rivers and winning in this matchup, and the Chargers going to 2-2. And that's another team that really needs this win as well. Starting up the season with 2 losses, and some of those losses, the way you guys lost, it was you guys could have won some of those games. So look for the Chargers to make some noise, and I definitely got them winning in this matchup. Phillip Rivers and those big wide receivers that he got, Keenan Allen and those guys, look for them to have an explosive game, and I got the Chargers winning in that matchup. Next, we have the Ravens 2-1 against the Steelers 1-1. The Steelers, another team I just don't know, man. They're hot, cold, hot, cold. I got the Ravens winning. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. And I was thinking, no Steelers, Antonio Callaway, Big Ben, but sometimes they just don't click. And then the Steelers defense to me is just looking at Artie Burns and those guys. They just I'm just not impressed, to be honest. I'm not impressed. So I'm sorry to say, all Steelers fans, and let's talk about it. I mean, leave a comment. I have concerns for the Steelers a little bit. Should I be concerned? Should you guys be concerned? But needless to say, I definitely got the Ravens going to 3-1 in that matchup, and I got them winning. Last but certainly not least is going to be our Monday night game, the 3-0 Chiefs versus the 2-1 Broncos. The Chiefs, man, wow. We only have a handful of undefeated teams. The Chiefs is one of them. 3-0. Patrick Mahomes, people been saying, I've been telling you guys, I feel like he's headed towards MVP. Have not thrown for any interceptions as of yet as a rookie. Now we know once you go high, at some point you're going to tank. But I don't know. The way Patrick Mahomes been playing is just, he doesn't seem like a rookie. He's not playing like a rookie. He's very poised. He seems like he's been in this before. Look like he's like in his 5th year in the NFL. And I got the Chiefs remaining undefeated. I got them going into 4-0, beating the Broncos in this matchup. And I definitely think they're going to look very impressive in this matchup. The Chiefs are going to be a team. I'm telling you, a team to be reckoned with. Trouble. If Patrick Mahomes and everybody stay healthy, trouble. Kareem Hunt, trouble. So I definitely got them winning in that matchup. So those are my predictions for week number 4 in the NFL. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this page. Leave some comments below. What are your predictions? Who do you got as your league MVP? What teams have impressed you so far? What teams have not impressed you? What coach should be on the chopping block? Let's have that conversation. You know the slogan. Let's talk about it. Until then, Sports King signing off.